So building our calculator right now, like I showed you in the previous video, that if there's any challenge, a programming challenge you want to solve, what we'll do is you think about it very well, make sure you understand it, then you break the problem into chunks and you start addressing each chunk, or you execute each chunk one after the other. Then while you're executing the chunk, you make sure you test each chunk to ensure that your program is working. Right. So let's go straight into this. I've broken into pieces, and the first chunk I'll be addressing is to create a calculator function. I'm going to define my function and call it calculate. Calculate, open and close brackets. Do I need a parameter or parameters? Yes, because I'll be collecting two numbers from the users. I'll call the numbers or the parameters num1, then with a comma, because there are two. I have to separate them with something which is a comma, and num2. And after the bracket, there should be a colon. The next thing we'll do is, sorry, I would like the user to select from a list of operators that will be providing, like we have in the basic calculator. There must be some operators like the plus sign, the minus sign, and so on and so forth. And I'll be using the impute method to collect this, and I'm going to place this in a variable called operator. Operator equal to impute method, open bracket, quotation mark, say select. So that's the first thing I intend to do. Then the next thing is to create the if and if elif statement. If operator is equal to, take note of this, the double equal sign is for comparison, is equal to this in quotation mark, single or double quotation mark, right? A colon. Then let me quickly mention this. If you notice here, there's some kind of indentation. The indentation could be a single tab. You push the tab button once, which is equal to 4 spaces. That's pressing the space bar 4 times. That's exactly what we have here. If you check here, press the space bar 1, 2, 3, 4, and likewise the same thing here. I'm using tab here. It's just a single tab. All right. So if the operator is plus sign, we are going to add. And let me just quickly print this out. And if I choose to, I don't want to test this at this moment because what we're doing is pretty simple. So let me quickly go through it and just follow me along. If you're coding along with me, just take your time because this is quite interesting, right? So num1 plus num2, num2. I would like to copy this to make the whole thing faster, but then I won't do that so that you can follow along with me. So the next thing I need to do is, because we have several operators that we are comparing against what the user is going to select. So we'll be using the elif more. Elif operator is equal to, let's say, print num1 minus num2. Then another elif, and take note that the elif is starting on the same indentation with the if, right? So if elif operator is equal to multiplication, now the asterisk symbol, print num1 multiplied by num2. Then we are not done yet. We have two more to go. Elif operator is equal to the forward slash for division. We print num1 divided by num2. And the last one, the second to the last one now, is if operator is equal to It's the double asterisk. It's, it's a print num1 to the power of num2. Right. Now, if the user now decides to select an operator that we didn't give in this list, what is going to happen? And that's when we're going to use else print. I don't have to declare this, right? Because there's no point. We are not comparing anything. We're just saying that assuming the operator decides to manipulate our app by typing in or by imputing a select or an operator that we didn't provide. So what is going to happen? We're going to print out a string that would say that kindly select an operator, right? Then try again. Uh, That's it. So having said that, what we just need to do next after declaring the function is to, like I have in my to-do list, I have to collect the user's input. For the user's input, I will store this in two variables, the first number and the second number, and I'll be using the input method to collect this information or this data from the user. So say num1 underscore one, then let me copy this. Let's quickly change this. Enter a second number. So that's that. After providing these options, right, the next thing I need to do is to call the calculator function and store it in a variable. That's if I want to store it in a variable. I can just print it out directly. So, but let me store it in a variable called result. So equal to calculate num1, which will collect from the user, and num2. Right. Then I print out print result. And sincerely, that's all that there is. That's all we need to do to build this basic calculator. The first thing we did was to create a basic function named calculate. We declared the function named calculate, and after that we'll collect users input and we store them into two variables, num1 and num2. Then the next thing that we did was to call the function. And if we try to print this out, or if we try to run our program, let's check it out. Saying enter your first number. Say my first number is not here in the terminal now. Let me push this up. So let's enter my first number 10, then say enter my second number 5. What do I want to do with this? Let's say I'm going to select the division symbol. What is my answer? You can see an error here, an error that says type error, unsupported operand types for string. Like we saw in my previous video, you cannot add up strings. And where do we have the strings? Whatever we collect using the input method is by default going to come out as a string. So for us to convert the string into a float or an integer so that we can make use of this calculator function, we have to wrap this around either a float or an int method. But for me, I'm going to be using a float. All right. So float, open the bracket and close bracket. And that's that. If we run this program again, let's try it and see what it gives us. Say enter your first number, say 10 again, then enter, press, the second number and select operator. Let's say division now again. Right. The answer is 2.0. Let's check out for exponent or exponential. So let me rerun the program. So enter my first number, say 4, and my second number is 2. Select operator as 4 to the power of 2 is 16. And let's try if let me just try and enter an operator or select an operator that's not declared in the list. So let's rerun this program to try that out. Say 12, first number, second number, 4. So let me choose probably an open bracket. Can see, kindly select an operator. Try again. Then if you notice, we still have none, and I don't like this none displayed here. I want us to modify this a bit, right? By returning something. And what are we going to return? Let's return this statement that thank you, return a string. Say thank you for using this calculator. Right. So let's run this and see how the function returns this statement or this string. I'm going to be entering my first number, which is, let's do exponent again, say 2 to the power of 3. Then let me enter the second number. Then let me do my operator. It gives us 8.0. And unlike we saw in the previous one that says none, this one is saying, gives us the answer and says, and returns, thank you for using this calculator. That's it. And that's all I have for you in this video. Thank you for watching, and I would appreciate you to please like this video, subscribe to it if you are new, if you have not subscribed yet, and at the same time, if you have any question, just place it in the comment below. If you have something you want me to teach you, or something in Python or JavaScript you want me to address, let me know in the comment below. Immediately I'm going to come up and deliver this. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye for now.